Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 9. It is time for a bit more building around here. So, a couple of quick updates I want to go through first. So, during the week I have obviously been trying to collect up a whole bunch more gravel. Now, unfortunately, I only had a couple of hours set aside to go through and collect up all of that gravel. And I got very unlucky with some of my biome spawns, and I only ended up with a couple of thousand gravel. So that means that I don't actually have enough gravel to continue on through and complete all of this stuff. Now, I have a couple of other plans that I want to do as well. So I honestly feel like it's probably a little bit of about time to take a break from here. I mean, we've been doing kind of terraforming and graveling and stuff on this island for a couple of episodes now, so I think it's time to switch things up a little bit and try something a little bit new. So what I've been thinking about doing is actually building a kind of Lumostone showcase island. Now, what I mean by this is I've got a lot of Lumostone on my tutorial island, as you guys probably know if you've seen all of the tutorials I've done. But that island isn't public, so what I want to do is make a little bit of a display case type island where all of those things are public and you can kind of come along and press buttons and stand on pressure pads and run through mazes and things and see how they all work. So I have a couple of jungle rainforests here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these yet. They are castles, and I also have a epic treasured keystone. Now, for those of you who remember, the Epic Treasured Keystone, you can actually collect all of the decor out of it. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring on an account that we haven't seen for a very long time. This is the SheepBall account. And SheepBall and I are going to head over into the Epic Treasured Keystone. And whatever the color palette is in the Epic Treasured Keystone is what the color palette is going to be for the Lumostone Island. So I'm basically going to force myself to work inside those constraints. I'm going to take all the decor items I can from the Keystone Island, and I might make a few more, I might not. I think actually I might not. I want to see if I can do an island completely made up of pieces from the treasured keystone. So this is going to be a bit of a jump outside my comfort zone, but hopefully it should be good, and hopefully we end up with something kind of cool looking. Obviously it's going to have a lot of Lumostone attached to it as well, because I love building that stuff. Not sure if we're going to get to the Lumostoning today, but we will definitely get there inside the next 2 weeks. So that's the thing, I want this done. If it doesn't get finished this week, it's going to be finished next week. So let's crack on. I'm going to go get SheepBall out of retirement, and we will go ahead and jump into the treasured keystone, and then we'll have a look around and see what's going on. Okay, so it is Treasure Island time. Now, I am in absolute bare minimum gear. You can see I've just bought one long-range pickaxe, and I haven't even brought my flying harness because I knew this guy was going to be here. The Fraction Flightmaster Furnace. This thing is just one of the coolest props that exists in the game. I've also got SheepBall here. I'll give a bit of a wave to SheepBall. And it seems as though I've actually got the blue and white version of this island. So that's kind of interesting. It is actually a color scheme. It's a color scheme I quite like, and it's one that I haven't used for a very, very long time. So it's going to be interesting to go through and use this color scheme. Obviously, I'm going to go through, clear out all of these chests first, because most importantly, these things have dungeon keys in them, and those are going to be quite useful as we go through, because obviously I'm running more and more dungeons now, but I haven't really done too many dungeon quests. So collecting a few keys up from here is going to be quite good. We'll also get a few keys later on too in the month as we go through, because there are keys in this list somewhere, which is quite cool. So I mean, that's where I've got all of my keys from so far, is doing treasure islands like this with other people. And yeah, also going through and getting those keys. So what have we got so far? We've got a town and a fort. We might name one of our, we might name this island after one of these title deeds that we get from here today. So we've now done 2 of these. Let's crack on and do all of them, see what we can get out of all of this stuff. So that's one we've already done. I'm gonna fly over this way. Flying makes these islands so much easier because of all of that and not having to worry about like falling down or anything. Collect up a few of the knots on the way through as well. Huh, interesting. That's a different type of chest there, but still cool. But also, yeah, check these out. So we've got lots of different little buildings and stuff around here, and we've got lots of decor items that we can use. Rugs of all kinds and all sorts of props and things. So that is perfect. This is going to be a great one to go through and get lots of materials and items out of. Also, like I said, the blue and white, the color scheme, it's not one that I've used all that often, but it is one that's pretty easy to collect materials for, so that is always a good thing in my book. So yeah, we'll kind of take this last little chest, and then I'll go running through here and see how much stuff I can collect up. And we'll do a bit of a tally at the end of all of that and see what we've got. I mean, oh, we've got a couple of good landmarks over here. So some of these landmarks are going to be really, really full of like tables and benches and chairs and awesome. We've got like a giant hanging lamp. Beautiful. That's going to come in so handy. This landmark in particular is one of my favorites in this the Treasure Island because it's always got good stuff in it, and it's just full of different bits and pieces. So if you are hunting for decor items, this is the place to come. This one. And the easiest way actually to find these things is if we have a quick look on the map. This guy has a yellow roof with a little blue tick in it. Oh, and there's another one here. Let's see if we can find... Oh man, I've got 3 of them on this Treasure Island. Awesome. This is a good spawn for this Treasure Island. I am excited now. This is going to be good. We're going to get some really good stuff out of here, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go up and loot the chest that's all the way up the top here as well. I think I'm going to go through, loot all of the chests first, because all of the chests give these 2-hour timed ambers, and those are just... I mean, they're just knots at this point in time. Like, that's all I'm going to use them for. I'm going to crack them open and sell everything I get back to the trader in the city. And yeah, that'll be it. The thing is, you can't discard these or get rid of these in any other way. So I'm going to go through here, clear them all out, throw them in a chest back at home, and then we'll start collecting decor items such as these guys. So cool. I'm loving this. We've got some really great spawns in here. This is going to make for an awesome looking island. Alright, I'm going to go around, open up all these chests, dump all the stuff back at home, and then start gathering for the actual island build. Alright, so back on my home island, and as you can see, we are now about 4 chests into this, and I'm kind of looking at light sources and just interesting other little pieces of decor around the place. So lots of chairs and kind of wall ornaments and hangings and all that kind of stuff. That's just the kind of little detail-y bits that I'm trying to pick up here so that we can use in this big build as we go through and do that. And yeah, as you can see, like I said, just lots of little different bits and pieces. I have been collecting insects eggs as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them in this build in particular, but they could come in handy in later builds. I have a really cool idea for an infestation style build, so we'll have a look at that at some point in the future. So these eggs are definitely going to be useful for that. Anyway, let's head back over to the island and keep going with this. There's still plenty more stuff that we can collect. So we're up to about 5 chests now, and there is still loads of stuff around here. As you can see, this place has been partly cleared out. I just kind of keep hitting random buildings because every time I jump out and jump back in, I kind of lose track of where I was and where I am up to. So I kind of just keep hitting up random buildings and grabbing random bits and pieces I see as I float past. So yeah, this place is nowhere near empty. Like, let's just say that much. It is absolutely nowhere near empty. But I am getting to the point where I'm pretty keen to move on and start on the actual main section of this build, because of course that is the main thing I wanted to do today, and all of this running around here and all of the running around after gravel has kind of taken a fair amount of my time out of recording, which is quite unfortunate. This episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter than a normal episode, but that's alright. We'll get some stuff done here in just a second. So I'm probably going to fill my rucksack this one last time, and then once we've done that, we're going to shoot on over to a brand new island and have a look at building this guy up. I think we're actually going to look at potentially even just straight up modifying the existing building on the island, because the ones that I have are castles, so we could pretty much just modify those, change any accents from grey, I think they're going to be, to blue, and run with that. I also do need to build out some form of pad or kind of patio type area that we're going to build all of the basic circuits and stuff on that are going to be useful for showing off, you know, like what an AND gate does and what an OR gate does. I have some big plans for those, big being the operative word here. But we'll talk about those in the next episode, because I don't really want to give away too much while we're floating around here. And yeah, I'm definitely not going to get to build those until next episode. So anyway, I'm going to finish up all the stuff that I'm doing here, and then we'll head over to that island and check it out. So this is the island we've ended up with. Now it's not too bad. The castle itself in the middle here is a little bit shattered. We're definitely going to have to do a bit of work to get this place up to spec. As you can see, we've even got like chunks taken out of the floor down here, which is not great. All of this stuff down the middle, I like this patterning, but like I said, I'm going to replace all of the grey stone with blue stone, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to have to, like I said, build this castle back up, replace those stones over, and then we'll add some Lumostone tricks to it, which means some of these doorways and things are going to have to be widened out to add all of these extra effects that I want to add into them. Now, the island itself is a jungle, and usually I'm not too keen on that, because usually it means having to take out everything that is on the island, because these trees are just massive and take up a lot of space. But what I'm thinking is eventually we're going to take out this little platform. Once I finish the build, we'll take this platform out and we'll have a little like outside area out here. I've got a little bit of room until the edge, so we'll build a little like platform of some kind, and we're going to build all of our kind of basic stuff out here, and then the castle itself is going to be the showcase. This is where I'm going to have, you know, like little puzzle elements and spring traps and all sorts of weird and wonderful bits and pieces that you'll be able to come through and use and just kind of see how everything works and meshes together. So yeah, first things first though, we're going to need to drag all of the gear over here that we've got from the treasure island. The treasure island is now closed. I decided I'd had enough. There was lots and lots of things that I pulled out of there, and it was starting to get to the point where I was like, do I really need that? Do I really not want that? So we just kind of closed it. I've brought some stuff over here, but not everything, so that's the next trick, is bringing everything over here. We'll probably end up replacing some of the grey stone before the end of the episode, but we are actually getting pretty close now to the end, because I am running out of time very, very quickly here to get this recording done. So let's fill these chests up and make a start on that place. All of the items and decorations have now made their way over here, so we've got 3 almost full large chests and a couple of extra run over chests just in case I need some more room. One of them does actually have a little bit of stuff in it, some of them don't. But yeah, now we're working on here, so I've just started doing a little bit of the conversion between grey and black, just to start with, just to see how things look. So I've got these fancy little decor tiles, which are really, really cool, and I like them a lot. I obviously didn't quite have enough to do the whole area down the bottom here, but I actually like it this way. You kind of get these kind of 2 intermixing patterns, which I think looks really cool. Obviously there's lots of bones and bits and pieces around the edges here that I'm just kind of noticing out of my, well, I was noticing out of the corner of my eye, so all of those are going to have to go. I really want this place to be kind of nice and clean and slick, so we're going to go through and remove all those. All of the grey stone is going to be replaced. It's all going to go over to the blue stone very shortly, but as you can see, I have a lot of work ahead of me, because this level up here is actually supposed to have a full section on it that you can walk around, and this is the only corner you can even stand on up here, although there is a little bit of space over here that you can also walk on. So kind of looking at what's left of this castle, we can get an inkling as to what it's supposed to look like when it's all back together. So that's going to be a good start. That's going to give us somewhere to go from as we move on through here, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that needs to be torn out and put back down, because I'm going to remove all of the vines. As much as I really do love the vines, like I said, I want this to kind of be a neat and clean area, so that it doesn't really distract from the Lumostone that's going to be all the way through it, because that's really what this is going to be. It's probably going to be even a race. I might even start the race just towards the door, and then have the race end all the way up here somewhere, maybe. I don't know yet. That plan is still a work in progress. There's a couple of different Lumostone ideas that I want to get through in this little like castle maze race thing, so it's going to be a case of where I can fit those inside this build, have them make sense, and have them work as actual things that we can do around here. So like I said, there's lots and lots of work that needs to go on, but I am very, very quickly running out of recording time. So I'm thinking that's probably going to have to be the end of today's episode. This is a very short episode. Like I said, just running out of time to do recording because of various other bits and pieces that have been happening around the place. I I'm quite excited about this build though, so trust me, this thing is going to be absolutely finished by the end of next week's episode. So look forward to that one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video.